Hello, everybody. Welcome to In Our Humble Opinion. I am Chachi. That is Tom, and we are back.
What
We are partying.
what up?
Sorry, I had the OBS up for a second. I was getting ready. So we're gonna talk about free agency today. I think we're a little late. Life is life. It happens. Yeah. So we had to take a little break, but we gave you content. We got more content. It's a party. Um, Tom, where would you like to start? I'm gonna let Tom knock this rodeo to start. So we're just gonna go over the big moves. It's not every. We're not gonna go over every single move because, dear God, that would take like 40 years. Or we're just going over like the big moves, who we think won, stuff like that. Just have fun. Just sit back, sip your coffee, put us on in the background. You're gonna love it. Okay.
Dude, man, I wanna start with I mean, I'm gonna start with my Packers because that's like just
Oh yeah, we have
like
to. We got to
you
start with our
gotta
teams. Our
I
teams are
mean,
gonna be first.
dude, think about this. They got younger. They got two like Green Bay's clearly doing the youth movement,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
unfortunately, like David Bakhtiari, it sucks that they had to cut him. I like
Yeah.
it like but it's hurt our soul since 2020 when he tore his ACL and it's just never been the same. Like that one was inevitable. And we were just like, there's always a slim chance of like, hey, he could come back.
I have
But
Green
I
Bay's
think
moves on the screen.
it was time. And hopefully he gets an opportunity. And I hope he gets to play well somewhere. Because, like, he's on the verge. He's like, if he could play like 2-3 seasons and get another All Pro, I can't imagine why he wouldn't be considered a
Hall
Hall
of
of Famer.
Famer. Yeah. Yeah.
The Aaron Jones thing, you know, from a GM standpoint,
Oh.
it makes. Yeah, sorry guys, you might be distracted with a 3-month-old baby. Uh, she's just agreeing with everything I'm saying, so it's all good.
It's okay. It's okay.
The Aaron Jones situation is interesting. Like when Green Bay, it was so crazy. I think there was a bunch of tweets like for 24 minutes, Green Bay had the best backfield in the NFL,
I know everybody was
and
like,
then
this backfield. I'm like, yeah. And then they were like,
yeah, Josh Jacobs was it's a really good signing. He fits very well what the Packers do.
no, I agree.
And also remember, he was an NFL leading rusher. Like this guy,
Tank,
he's
good
really
pass
good
catcher
talent,
too. Good
right?
pass catcher.
He's big. He's a thumper. Yeah, he can pass catch with the best of them. He has the most missed tackles. Like if you watch the game film from last year, like dear Lord, the Raiders were a dumpster fire. It's amazing they won as many games as they did because like their offensive line couldn't block anybody.
No, they were bad.
I mean, like literally, there was a play where he like Brandon Jacob or Josh Jacobs, sorry, wrong Jacobs.
That guy was a unit though.
two different players there too. Brandon Jacobs just would have died because he's too big. Anyways, yeah, like he had to juke out like 4D linemen just to like get to the line of scrimmage. I mean, that was the kind of year he dealt with. So a down year statistically doesn't correlate to who he was.
No, I agree.
Xavier McKinney, you potentially got a top 5 safety in the NFL, right? And like normally, it's what's interesting with Green Bay is they don't normally. Green Bay never will like when you always hear, oh, they were interested.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually did it. Like they took one of the top guys on people's free agency board. Like,
Yeah, that was big.
hey, it was fun. Like as a Packer fan, you're like, okay, it was an up and down roller coaster day because you saw the end of 2 eras. It really sucked. I wish the Aaron Jones thing would have worked out. I totally get Green Bay's standpoint. I do understand to a point Aaron Jones some of his frustrations too. I'm sure it's hard to hear like, hey, I got to take another pay cut. I did everything I'm supposed to do last year. I understand I got hurt and I didn't play as much as I wanted to. But man, dude, I'm really disappointed in like just this whole, Green Bay had to cut also Devondre Campbell. Like, guys,
Mm-hmm.
I understand like as a former football player, like it sucks when your time's up. Whether it's you're done playing or like another team,
Different team,
or someone
yeah.
doesn't want you. I don't know. Like I never took it to that level where I'm like backlashing the team of like, oh screw that place, because it's just like dude, Devondre Campbell, number one, they gave you an opportunity for a third contract that was actually very lucrative, and you played well, right?
Uh-huh.
You got old really fast. Aaron Jones, Green Bay took a shot at you, right?
Uh-huh.
And I don't care where you sign. but don't sit there and trash the organization.
Yeah, that's a
You
lot.
have so, and there's a lot of players that do it. I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of hearing like how Green Bay is this. You know what? If it's so bad, why did two of the best players in the free agency board go sign there?
That's
Must
true.
be terrible.
That's true. They're
I
coming
mean,
up though.
I
They're
guess Aaron Jones is just mad because he realized he got played with Sam Darnold. Bum.
Oh, that is
Bum
bad.
butt.
Yeah. I know, but the Vikings are doing well. I have them up on the board below because I have your team up right now. I think the Packers done a great job. The one that's underrated just because he's familiar with everything, and you got him back as your backup running back, so it's not that bad. AJ Dillon knows the system. He's
Yeah.
a really good blocker too. Can catch. So you got two big backs that can catch. It works. That's a good tandem. I think it's not bad. Keyshawn Nixon was big because he's a really good kick returner. Remember when that was a problem a couple years ago? They were like terrible. I
That's been
remember.
a problem child for like 10 years.
Yeah,
It's not even that's what's even crazier.
I know. Did
But
they
like,
once? But
yeah, no,
once.
AJ Dillon's big, man. That was actually like I was happy they were able to bring the familiarity back because in the draft it just allows you to be patient
Yep.
and get the guy you want
Yep.
versus reaching because you're like we have no depth.
Yep. And then Xavier
And also,
McKinney, like you said,
right,
he's a young, talented safety. It was a great pickup. He's gonna get better. Like you said, has potential to be a top five safety. Still, right now is a very good one. I mean, it's either way, you're gonna have a decent player there. Josh Jacobs, everyone, come on, he's a very good player. I mean, running backs being so devalued, but it's still important, guys. I'm tired of that. I'm like, no, look at the
dude,
Ravens. Where do you get
it's
them? Don't run the
critical.
ball.
Like
Yeah.
think of how Christian McCaffrey was the best player on the field, and the way that San Francisco failed to utilize him in that game killed them. They would have won the game.
No, I agree with you.
Patrick Mahomes. Basically, they lost. The 49ers lost that game because they gave Mahomes way too many chances.
They really did.
It's
They
like
really did.
it's like beating Michael Jordan. I mean, Tony Romo said it, hit it on the nail on the head. You can't give a player like that many opportunities.
Well, he even said
right?
it. He was like, "What are they doing?" When it was three straight drives. They went 3 and out because they threw the ball 3 times every time. They never ran it. Like, why? What were you doing? Like, what are you doing? And the Ravens showed you that you can't like do that. You have to stay balanced. And they just were like, "Nope, we're gonna throw." Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
That was
Like,
crazy.
people try to get too cute. I don't. But anyways,
That's my
running
whole
the
issue
ball
with
is just-
with
yeah,
Shanahan
I agree, dude.
that I brought
The
up
running game
before.
in the NFL sets up everything else. It takes the pressure off the quarterback. It's extremely important. I don't care if you're Tom Brady or you're Sam Darnold.
No.
The running game is as important as anything. And anybody that devalues that, you need a quarterback to win a Super Bowl. But to win games in the NFL, you gotta be able to run the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have balance. No balance, the linebackers just stand still or in the middle of the field, and it's a whole mess. It's hard to do anything because they're just looking at you like, I mean, you're not gonna run it, so why do we care? You know,
Exactly.
them feet are flat. They're like, all right, he ain't running.
Yeah,
it.
what was nice is Green Bay had a lot more cap space than I think people realize. They made more. You know, I think going forward, I think they're going to be looking at some like bargain guys.
Yeah,
I still think they're supposed to bring in Rayshawn Jenkins from Jacksonville. I think Fuller too as another guy from another safety as well. They may add one more safety. I think they're going to add a safety in the draft. Right, so McKinney helps your free safety, cover three, like single high guy. He can also play in the box. He's really good weak side. They need a guy that can, McKinney can tackle. Like, he can just do everything. So what's great is that's your building block, potential blue chipper, right, that really sets you up to do whatever you want. I'm really curious if hopefully they don't have to overpay.
Mm-hmm.
They still need, like, a strong side linebacker.
Gotcha.
I hope there's a couple guys in the draft I really like.
Yep.
I don't know if they'll go at wherever Green Bay's at like 26 or whatever, or even early in the second round. But they're gonna have to address that with what they're doing because they just don't have the depth right now.
Okay.
Losing Devondre Campbell does make that challenging. So I still think they have a lot more moves they need to make on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, what's interesting is like they're kind of just set. If people want to come and add depth, sure, but like maybe another running back. But again, I see it as a draft pick. I don't see it as them dipping into free agency for that anymore. I think it's all defense at this point.
I agree. I think the Packers, honestly, I think it just made me want to like make them my favorite in the NFC a little more because I think we just went over it. Tom's segueing good for this perspective for me to bring this up. I know it's putting a lot of pressure on them. They showed me they come to play in the playoffs. They have a really good quarterback. They have a young team with a very hard matchup because you can't like take their best receiver. They have a lot of them. Like it's hard. You cannot just be like, hey, we're gonna lock up one. If you lock up one guy, they'll throw it to another guy. It's a hard team to deal with. Um, Defensively, I feel like they're going to get much better than last year, and I understand they played well in the playoffs on defense, but they still were up and down. You could see that all year. That was their weakness, right? I think this year they're going to have more camaraderie. And again, this is the thing me and Tom always bring up. We like to make our assumptions on teams so quickly. Football, the first 4 or 5 weeks are preseason now. You got to let them learn. About week 8, you start seeing what a team's really going to start to be. So give them time to gel. It's I think by the end of the year they're going to be really good. No one's going to want to play that team, barring injury, because it is football. Jordan Love snaps his leg, we got problems. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're gonna see how that.
I mean, that's any team.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, I would say that'd be interesting if they continue to bolster the backup spot, like Sean Clifford. He really showed me a lot in preseason, being like a rookie, and I think everyone was like, "What a dumb pick," but he actually like was one of the better passers.
No, I remember he was playing well.
Yeah, like it was kind of like, hey, for all you quote unquote experts, like. I will say, like, the one thing I've been watching the Dynasty from like the New England Patriots on Apple TV. Plus, hey, there's branding. Shout out. Do we get money for that? It's really good. Number one, I recommend people watch it because it's just interesting to hear like one of the things they talked about is they set up like, hey, the Patriots before they won their first Super Bowl, right? They had Drew Bledsoe. They had this guy that was clearly the face of the franchise, right?
Yep.
And Bill Belichick comes in and he has to kind of massage that. But then when he gets injured and all of a sudden, and he went through the same thing, something very similar with Bernie Kosar. I think Bledsoe still had more in the tank.
Oh, yeah. He was still decent.
Bledsoe's problem is when he saw pressure, he got scared and just took a sack.
He was a statue,
and, Aaron was very similar at the end, right? If he didn't see two reads sometimes, he'd hold on to it. And then you just, it's not like a deer in the headlights thing. It's just like when things aren't the way they want them to be, they're not making the plays that like when they were younger. Like if you watch Rodgers when he was younger, that guy would fire balls in there.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
And what I want, people need to give the coaching staff for number one, truly believing and understanding and developing Jordan Love, giving him time to develop, but then also like believing in him.
Yep.
Right, this year, and like understanding he's going to go through his ups and downs, but like when you hear Josh Jacobs and McKinney say, yeah, we came here because of Jordan Love as part of the reason, that's exciting, right? And that tells me like people realize that guy's good.
He's got he's going to win a lot.
It's the same thing people saw in New England with Tom Brady. Like again, the guy was youthful, he could move, he's willing to make those plays, he's going to make those mistakes, but man, like, you have to, and that's kind of free agency in general. Like, even Aaron Jones, you always want to let a player go a couple years early and get burned a couple years too late because it costs you.
No,
and people don't understand how many years sometimes it takes to rebolster a position.
No, I agree.
So,
I agree.
But I love Green Bay's offseason. It was a super wild day on that early Monday, but, they're a fun team. I can't wait for the draft, and then when they get started, man, it's going to be the sky's the limit for that team, that's for sure.
I agree with Tom. I love the moves. I think we've been going over it. I think the losses are like you got better younger players, so it's like it works. It's not a big deal. Like Tom said, I am not a fan of everybody trashing the team when they get. It happens, especially a running back. It happens a lot. We'll get into the Ravens next. Derrick Henry didn't trash the Titans. It is what it is. You leave. It's okay. It happens.
Did he get like 2 contracts with him?
Or
maybe just 1, but he got paid. Like, exactly. Well, also that's what I think was disappointing about Aaron Jones. The guy comes from the military respect kind of background, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just get tired of it all the time. Like Green Bay's not this
It's
awful
wild.
place. If it was, you wouldn't want to be there to begin with. You're mad because they said, "Hey, we know you're valuable, but your production on the field does not match your $17 million cap hit. So either take a pay cut, or and again, think of it from the organization side. If they balk, right, and they go take a 50% pay cut, and then they don't do it, what's going to happen?
Yep.
Players are going to be like, well, they don't mean business.
Yep.
So they have to sometimes, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard, man. But go on. Sorry, I don't want to steamroll it. The Ravens.
Oh no, I wasn't going into the Ravens. I was still. I was just bringing up Derrick Henry because I have it up on the screen for the Ravens because we're doing that next. I was just bringing that up because it's the same kind of deal. He left a team that I know they paid him, but so the Packers did pay Aaron Jones. He made his money.
Dude, Aaron Jones was a third or fourth or fifth. No, he was actually. No, he was taken early or fifth round pick. Sorry, Jamal Williams. What people don't understand is when coming in, Jamal Williams was the guy that people thought was going to be really good.
Yeah,
that's what's bizarre.
That's true.
Like Aaron Jones, you know, again, like he was unbelievable in college, and I don't think that's like. Again, he was such a good player, but it's just like I said, it sucks to watch him go because he's one of my favorite Packers, like in the past, like 5-7 years. But at the same time, it's just like you knew. Like I think that was the only shocking move, just because of the way that the Packers talked about his leadership, and you're like, okay, they're gonna try to make this work. But I'm not surprised. His time was ending in Green Bay, whether it was this year or next year. So like and all the other moves were, I think every Packer fan wasn't surprised.
Yep.
When they said, "Hey, back's gone," like I said, that was the inevitable. You've been waiting just to see when they would do it. And then the same, Devondre Campbell was just like, "Dude, you cost a lot, and dude, you looked like I think my grandfather might be able to move faster sometimes. Like, that can't always be." His quote was, "Hey, they were trying to make us watch the quarterback all the time, and it's like, well, we couldn't react." And I'm like, doesn't mean you look like you're running through quicksand then. And so sorry, man. I'm not trying to be mean, but Father Time stinks. Trust me.
Oh yeah. You ain't lying.
The parent of two now.
Right.
Not being athletic anymore. Father Time is winning.
Right.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, Tom's right. Sometimes you got the youth movement's there and it's happening, man. It's good to see. It's gonna be fun. I feel like it's fun as a fan, right? Because you get new people there. You get to see how they interact. Like you said, Green Bay's getting free agents too. That doesn't happen. Like usually, like Tom said, they're in the running, but they always sign somewhere else, which is kind of cool. That they got the people they wanted. That's kind of cool. I feel like they did a 50-50 too. Like I said, with upgrades. So it's like he said. I think they just loaded up. I mean. They made good moves.
Dude, like what's crazy with Josh Jacobs is it's the same contract Aaron Jones got, like whatever 3 years ago, and it's like
a little less. I thought
4 years
right?
younger. It's like wow, it's just kind of wild to think like they're able to pull off the same dang thing.
Yeah, I feel like the running back market went down a little bit. Like, it's crazy. But you got to pay them, which is wild. Pretty cool. I mean, it's wicked. I mean. I love running backs. You know me, I always defend my boys.
Dude, the best player on the field was Christian McCaffrey.
It was. And they affect a game.
I love Lamar, no offense, but the best player, offensive player, and best player period on the field was truly Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, running back's never gonna get it. You know how it is now. It's just like the Super Bowl MVP. They give it to the quarterback. He could throw out.
McCole Hardman didn't deserve the MVP.
No. Mahomes deserved it, but I'm always gonna be this guy. Let's not pretend that pick didn't happen because that was ass. Yeah.
I was saying, how come McCole Hardman didn't get it? He caught the touchdown.
Right. He would have accepted it. You know, I mean, obviously.
Dude, you don't. Hey, you never turned down something that was given to you.
No, never. Not when you're McCole Hardman either. Yeah. Good player. I'm not trying to hate on you, but dude, that comment you made was crazy. Like, no, stop, bro, stop. You're lucky they signed you again. Okay.
This offseason, man, people like their comments, like we were just talking about with like Aaron Jones. Like, dude, people need to stop. It's just wild.
Oh yeah, it's wild. It is. It really is. Like, dude, chill. But okay, we'll go right into the Ravens. Packers looking good. The Ravens, I don't think we're gonna spend that much time because they lost more people. It's gonna be more about the people that left because it's just funny. But I'll just go over the people they got. I don't have a lot to say because they did good. I think the Derrick Henry Lamar thing. I think me and Tom were talking about it before we did the show yesterday. The reason I like the deal, like we were talking, he's a little older, but what you pay for him, it's 2 years. I got it up on the screen. 2 years, 16 million with incentives. That is a really good deal for him. That is not that, that's not going to hurt your team that much. The thing that's not on here is the Ronnie Stanley restructure, which we were just talking about with Aaron Jones. The thing with Ronnie Stanley is he was like, okay, I will take a restructure. We talked about him. I said for the money you were paying him, he wasn't worth it. For that, he is a bargain because he is a solid player. I just don't think he's a great player right now. And he play for that money. He's great. 10 mil a year. That's nothing for a left tackle. That's great. And he has a lot of incentives. He plays well. The one I didn't talk about, but I talked about him a lot during the season because his play is the reason why the cornerback situation was not bad. They got him back for 2 years. Arthur Millette. If he continues to play that way, he's a really good nickel back. Makes a lot. Really good blitzer. Very versatile player, right? He helps because then you have him and Hamilton on the field, and you kind of Hamilton can go freelance because he's the slot guy, right? He's really good at playing slot corner. But got Urban back. He's an underrated player. Brent Urban's always been a good like switch in lineman, like give people a breather. He's a very good player. Justin Matabuke, we talked about that signing. That was really their biggest move and very important. They got him for a long time now. It's cap friendly deal, so your team's not going to be strapped the next 4 years where he's just killing you. That honestly was the biggest move out of all of these because you kept him. You lost Odell, but I feel like for the money you were paying him, it's not that bad because that was too much money. You need Bateman to step up, okay? They're looking good, but they did lose a lot of people. And the one we're going to talk about, I'm going to pull them up on the screen because I think me and Tom are going to have fun with this. I told you that I liked about their moves. I think Lamar and the read option with Henry is going to be ridiculous. I think that's going to, if they stay healthy, that's the big thing with both of them. Sometimes they get a little nicked up, but if they stay healthy, they're good. And the running back depth's a little scary for me because I don't know who they got backing them up. Justice Hills, is he even on the team? I'm not sure, Tom. I think he still is, right?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay. He's okay. I mean, fumble problems sometimes. But I feel like they need one more back for depth. Maybe they're going to draft somebody, which they could, later on, which is okay. Young guy's always nice. They've always been good at finding, like, the guys, Michael Pierce. I mean, not Michael Pierce. Was that his name? Pierce. Bernard Pierce. Bernard Pierce back in the day, if you remember, he was really good during that Super Bowl run. If no one remembers, he was tremendous. He had a great Super Bowl too. He made a couple plays.
He reminds me of remember when Green Bay got James Starks in the 7th
Yep.
round?
Yep.
In their Super Bowl run, he was a very similar running type.
Yeah, I agree. So we have so now I'm going to go to the fun part. All the players that left the Ravens to go to division rivals because I think it was pretty fun, and this segues into other teams doing a good job. So the Ravens, I'm gonna let you talk first, Tom. Then we're gonna go into I want to get into the Steelers because I think they made some moves that could possibly be really good. I think they're gonna be a lot tougher if it works out. We'll see, because they didn't really give up anything for Justin Fields. That was they just gave him. It's crazy. But Patrick Queen went to the Steelers. And I think that was a great move for him. I really do. I think people are being crazy giving him crap. Our fans, the Ravens fans on Twitter, need to chill. And on all the like I know they're bringing up, and I'm not saying they're wrong. He was not playing well before Roquan got here. But players sometimes need the right person to help. Like your position coach can tell you, but when the guy on the field's by you and tells you, it's kind of different. It's like, this is my dude I'm going out there with. Roquan told him, I'm imagining, I don't know. As soon as Roquan got there, you saw Patrick Queen stop hesitating. He was just playing with his hair on fire, and that's when he plays great because he just goes and makes plays, and I think he's gonna be fine because now he knows that's how he's got to play, and he's gonna be 100 mile an hour making plays all over the field. It's kind of like the Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu thing where I'm like, they both were really good, but they did it differently. Ed Reed was kind of just making plays back there, and Troy Polamalu was like Patrick Queen's kind of comp in the sense that he just went, and you just were like, hey, do your thing because he made plays. But they were completely different, but they both were very effective, right? It's just great player, both rightfully in the Hall of Fame. I just don't like this. Man. I just don't like the slander of the guy just because he went to your rival. Leave him alone. He's playing football. Make your money, bro. Not only that, their jerseys are nice. If you hate on them, leave them alone. Okay. Now their field's horrible. Everyone thinks so. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt because that field is. Be careful, Patrick. I like you. I don't want you to get hurt, buddy. Anybody. Well, we got to play there twice, so I always worry about Lamar's leg getting stuck in the ground. Just, you know, I'm just being serious. That field, in what it is, they use it too much, and it's natural grass, so it wears a little bit. Their groundskeeper's terrible. I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. You can do a better job, bro. That field, everybody complains about it. Well, Jets field's the worst one though. That's a whole.
I don't know why people complain so much about the Jets. Like, that's brand new turf. Like,
yeah, I don't understand why it happens.
You know, a lot of these injuries, the problem is these people train 24/7.
That too.
It used to happen because, like, dude, back in the '60s, these guys went and started running their car business through there.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, there's something to be said about all this overuse training. Like,
no, I agree.
It does.
You got to rest too. Does. No one rests.
Yes. And I think some players, as they age, that's what they do.
Remember, that's what Tom Brady was saying. Now he's a quarterback. I get that. Not the most athletic man in the world, but you know, he was like, you got to recovery's like one of the biggest things when you get your body tested, heal. You can't keep because honestly, working out makes your body strained. So when you keep doing it, like you're saying, you just make it where like the littlest thing will pop a muscle or pull a, you know.
Yeah, no, dude, overuse is real. I don't care, but anyways, like, so yeah, Patrick Queen, like, I agree with you, man. It's just maybe it's a different situation. I think Roquan truly made him who he is, but that's okay. Like, still, it doesn't matter, man. Like, when you get that opportunity to play next to someone and you ball out like that, like, that's awesome.
Get
like,
your money, yeah.
Like, don't, you know, Ravens fans, don't sit there. That guy played well for you, and again, like, what stunk last year is you could argue across the board that might have been one of the better Raven teams ever.
No, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
That's what's like.
That's why the game plan was.
When they didn't win the AFC title.
The game plan was so bad. The game plan was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, like the 2000 Ravens didn't have that on offense, not even close. And defensively, you know, they were breaking records. You know, they were one of the best defenses in the past 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe not as good as Legion of Boom and the 2000 Ravens, but like when you look at DVOA and stuff, you're just like, whoa.
Oh, I watched them. They had people playing out of their minds too. I just brought up Arthur Millette. The dude was like a journeyman, and he played. Anyone objectively that watched that team every game, like I did, he played great. Even the last game, it took a great throw to what was his name? MVS. To get the first down away. That wasn't a bet. He was all over him. It just was a really good play. They threw it high. They know he's tall. Like Tom said, that's where Mahomes, you're like, that's how good he is. Because some of them throws like that one, that's just smart. He knows his guy. He lets him run down the ball because he knows that's what MVS is good at. He doesn't throw like a heater to him. You know what I mean? Good play. And the Ravens, what I don't get about that play, now they lost the game before. His defense was not the problem. I thought they should have just blitzed and said, hey, we can't win if we don't stop them. We don't got a shot, so just send it. I just think I heard people like, oh, they were so. I'm like, they did not deserve to win that game. By that point, I was like, I'm not even mad. I mean, my point is, Arthur Millette, are you going to get those seasons out of those players again, or was it a one-year thing where they just were, like you said, sometimes you gel. That's what you don't know about the season. Some players play out of their mind, and you're like, what happened? Clowney had I know his stats didn't say career year, but anyone that watched the game, like every play was getting in, grabbing the running backs. He was making plays all over the field. They were doubling him. He was playing great. Vanoy went through the like time machine and was batting passes. I mean, it's like, are you going to get those again? It's very weird. See, I don't see it like the Packers, where it wasn't like the Packers. The Packers were a young team that was doing stuff you didn't think they were going to do. They kind of like played above their skis at the end. They were like really cooking, right? Like you were like, oh man, I didn't know they were going to do this, right? But you saw like the growing pains through the season. But then they were just flying at the end. Like I think they would have probably won the Super Bowl, or really close if they would have won that game again. Now that sounds like hyperbole, but if you beat the 49ers, who else is beating you? Because I don't think the Lions were, because they already beat them on Thanksgiving. Okay, I saw it. They ain't afraid of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
point is. No, I agree. Like that Packer team was just.
Point is.
And the thing is, they had the numbers of like. The hurdle was the 49ers because they had Detroit. You're absolutely right. They beat them, and then they also beat People forget they beat Kansas City.
Yep.
And
No, I remember.
they had that defense that the Packers play, that soft defense, watching Mahomes
Works. It works.
Really works against him.
And
like this, why? Because I think the biggest thing is they got pressure in the right areas when they needed to. But anyways, it's.
Yeah, my point is, your team is young, and I'm like, they just got better, and I'm like, that wasn't even their year. I feel like the next few years are going to be their year where everyone's hitting like their primes coming up, and they're just going to get better, right? The Ravens had a lot of guys that were kind of older, having really good seasons. Is that going to happen again? You kind of need a little bit to get. Not only that, the other teams in your division are getting healthier. We're going to talk about the Steelers in a second. They're getting better. Okay, it's going to be different. They got quarterbacks now. I don't think Russ is the greatest quarterback anymore. I don't think he's the same. But they got better. The AFC's getting better. The Jets got a lot of linemen now that can kind of block. Much better line than last year. If our vice president doesn't act crazy, we might he's old, but he can still throw. I'll give him that. I will say this, and I'm not sorry about this. I'm putting it on the internet. If his Achilles, something happens to it, okay, I'm not gonna feel sorry for him. You want to tell me how you're the miracle man and all this bullshit, buddy? I'm not crying for you. Don't tell me how you're defying science, and if you hurt your leg, I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't do what he did because apparently your Achilles didn't heal right because it broke again. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying, Aaron's put himself out there for that. He talks a lot for someone that ain't playing. Okay.
It's the classic narcissism. He has to stay in the limelight. Same with
And this is the problem with our country, bro. Like, I ain't trying to bring that up into this, but it's like, how is he gonna run for what qualifies him to be vice president? This is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. You know what? Just get Michael Jordan to run for president, and then just have people that know what they're doing.
What qualifies him to run for vice president is he can bring up conspiracy theories and
what the fuck?
Look.
It's wild.
We'll get into it when we get to the Jets. I personally just don't think his heart's in it
No,
anymore.
me either. No.
And if I were the Jets, it's interesting. Like I said, they haven't moved on from Zach Wilson.
No. I agree.
I'm telling you, and number one, I don't think there's any buyers.
No.
Number two, I'm telling you, if I were them, I'd be really concerned that Rodgers isn't coming back. Because I just don't or if he does, it's going to be so half-hearted.
He's made it a circus.
To do other things outside of football.
Yeah.
He should. This is why, I think everyone was, laughing at the Packers, but, now everyone's like, whoa, and they've been dealing with this for a long time. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, dude, you're right, though, with the Steelers. I know we're still talking about the Ravens a little bit, but...
Oh, no, the only thing I wanted to finish up with the Ravens real quick was I want to give love to Geno Stone, too, because I'm hearing all this crap about him, too. Like I said, Ravens fans, stop. The guy, I'm so happy for him. I know he went to the Bengals. The guy wasn't even at the end of the year, they weren't playing him as much. He needs a shot to be a starting safety. He's earned that. He's not going to get it here with Hamilton, and he understands that. Think about it, he don't even hate on his teammate or the organization because he's like, hey, I know the guy's good. And I love Kyle Hamilton. And the guy's tremendous. The jump he made from year 1 to year 2 is crazy because he looks like one of the best players in the league. We were talking about best safeties. That dude's crazy. But Geno deserves a chance to start, and the Bengals needed a safety. It's perfect. I have no hate for Geno. And let me tell you something. If the guy gets the ball, he catches the ball when it's near him. So, he's doing something right. And everyone's like, all the overthrows. You know how many people drop them? You know how I remember that?
Yep.
Because does everyone remember when Ed Reed first left? I swear to God, it would be like the same play. And I'd be like, that's picked off because I was used to it. And then, the ball dropped on the ground. What just happened? Every time Ed Reed would just be where the ball was. Like, hey, how's it going? Picked off.
Josh, Ty Law he was saying so the Super Bowl against the Rams in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
His pick 6. He's like, generally he goes, those types of throws,
mm-hmm.
Corners have a hard time with because they're like, nah, it's so easy because it's not easy. And he was saying, he's like, nah, Kurt ain't gonna throw. Oh, okay. And he's like, that's one I would drop because it's just so easy.
Yeah, because your eyes
So
get big and you.
people need to understand. Yeah, that stuff's hard too. Like it looks easy,
Mhm.
but it ain't that easy when
Adrenaline.
in the NFL, like the picks you have to make are elite. It's not. It's not, generally you're not making picks.
Well, what he said is perfect too, because you don't think. Sometimes you'll drop it because you're like, he ain't gonna throw this, and then when they throw it, you're like, oh god, and then you're not ready. You're just like, oh no, he ain't gonna throw this, right? I'm on him. I'm on that ass.
Yeah, this guy dumb. Whoa. But
Unless you're
yeah,
the guy that was opposite Dion and wants to go around Brown, they were really bad. That was the worst pick I've ever seen. Neil O'Donnell. Did you have money on the game? The NFL's rigged,
right.
obviously,
Oh,
obviously rigged.
oh God.
Okay, but me and Tom are now we're gonna go. We went over our teams. Now let's. Tom's got a baby. I got a baby. We're gonna go over the general landscape. We're gonna start with the Steelers, obviously. I just had to get that out of the way, Tom. But we're gonna go over other teams we think either won or lost. Like, what are you doing? I got all of them up on the screen. I'm bringing the Steelers up next. Tom, let's start with Steelers. You go ahead and go, buddy. These are other teams.
Steelers, I thought they addressed a lot of things. They got rid of. I mean, I love that they cleared the quarterback room and said this isn't acceptable. Like it's very unlike the Steelers to do what they did.
Yep.
Right. And Mike Tomlin's like, hey, you got like he's kind of holding the organization to a lot different standard of like, hey, if we're gonna do this, we need to do it differently. We can't just stand pat like they have been. Look, I'll take a Russell Wilson that's old and decrepit because last year he did cook.
He was pretty good. Pretty good, yeah.
You know, he got screwed because the Broncos are a dumpster fire organization that just tried to, you know, they were able to buy that Super Bowl last time, but.
Oh yeah, John Elway gets a pass for doing a terrible job with QB.
You know, and honestly, I like the Justin Fields move. You know what? Maybe Justin can actually learn
from Russell,
and in a couple years,
I agree.
You know what? He becomes the dude.
You set up for
defensively. They needed linebackers. That killed them last year. They were terrible.
Absolutely.
In inside linebackers. So Patrick Queen is really good. Yeah, like I thought they had a solid offseason. They got better.
I agree. No, I agree with Tom. I think the underrated move too. They got Dante Jackson from the Panthers. He was a decent corner. You know, not bad.
I forgot the Panthers. And the Panthers just gave
yeah.
This offseason.
Because Deontay Johnson's good, but my thing is like before everybody. I know everybody's like he's good. Yes, but you have Pickens, who is definitely the better one, and B. More importantly, the Steelers, they're great. Whoever the hell scouts their wide receivers is a legend. He's gonna find a fucking guy in the 5th round that's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
It's Mike Tomlin, man. He played wide receiver at.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Tomlin's
a beast there too.
Mike Tomlin goes, this guy's great. I know he is. We're good. They're gonna pick him in the 6th round out of freaking Chattanooga, and everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, he's amazing. And then you're gonna be like, how the hell? The John C. Reilly meme where he's like, huh?
Yeah. So I want to get into the hometown Atlanta Falcons real quick.
All right, let's do it. Let me go to that one for you.
Number one, the additions at wide receiver are amazing. And then, Rondale Moore and Mooney, have two guys that can make plays.
Tom, you know how I feel about Rondale. That's my boy. They didn't use him right in Arizona. You need to just get the ball to that man. He's good. He's a good player.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, they're guys in space that can make moves. They don't have that. They have Drake London's good. He's very good, but he is a go get the ball
physical receiver.
Guy.
Mooney's the guy to me too, because the Bears didn't know how to use him. He's a deep threat. You got to get him that. He's like a Deshaun Jackson kind of like get deep in.
I think part of it is Justin Fields is not good.
No, he needs time to watch. He does.
But Kirk Cousins, that was an A+ move.
No, I agree.
They need, and you know what? And everyone's, they're crushing the Falcons. They didn't get Deshaun or, what's his face?
The Lamar move, hey, yeah. No, I've heard it. Yeah. Hello. Oh.
Yeah, it's
No, I'm with you.
The Falcons upgraded where they needed to. They're like, dude, they can win. I mean, I think their sights are higher than just winning the NFC South.
No,
that team is, and like if they can get Kirk in a good rhythm and just keep him protected and healthy, Kirk is going to make the throws that you need to.
They're like the Steelers in the sense that they were doing this without a quarterback. They were a decent team. Same thing with the Steelers. They made the playoffs with Kenny Pickett, who, no offense, but Kenny Pickett's like a backup. He's not that good. Anyway, thus far, maybe he'll be caught. Like, I don't want to ever put that. Sometimes quarterbacks, think about Alex Smith, they take a little while to get going. I get that. I'm just saying in general right now, not that good. Okay. And there's another guy, Tom. We were talking about, just real quick, he got traded away and booted out of his position so fast. Kenny Pickett didn't complain. He could have been like, Pittsburgh's annoying. No, going back to what Thomas said, where people get mad, like,
no,
just
I agree. I think Kenny. Hey man, sometimes sitting on the bench is better. Like it's a lot of pressure to be the Pittsburgh Steelers' next starting quarterback because of you're trying to fill Ben Roethlisberger's shoes. That's a big set of shoes to fill.
And my thing with the Falcons move that I do love, no one's talking about this with Kirk Cousins, okay? Kirk's had a good career, but the one thing that always he has been stigmatized with is he can't win the big games and he's not clutching like the primetime games. He's still going to have motivation, is my point, to be great, right? And now he has the weapons around him. He has a really good running game. Because Al Jair don't get enough credit. That's a two-headed monster. He's a boat. That man can run. You know, they got two. Bijan is the star. I get that, but that dude is good too. They got talent everywhere. That team. I'm excited to see how. There's no excuses. I got to bring this up because you made it. We were talking about last year. He's too up and down. Pitts. There's no excuses, bro. He gets the ball to. We already know from the Vikings. He's gonna throw it to the good players. Hook or crook, he'll throw that up. You know what I mean? So it's on you to make plays now. He's gonna give you a chance. So if Kyle Pitts don't make plays now, then he never is. You know, he's just is what he is. We'll see. Kyle Pitts, it's on you, bro. You gotta show out. It's time. You got a quarterback. He's gonna throw the ball to you. You gotta make the plays. Okay? I'm done. I'm done. He even lets you keep your number. So you better number 8 better show up. We ain't.
One team I think that's underrated, Josh, is Houston did really good this offseason.
Let's go to Houston. We're rapid firing this, bro.
Sorry, they did really good. Like they got Joe Mixon, they lost Singletary, but you think they got another guy. They added more pass rushing ability, just more depth, and then that defense. It's going to be scary.
Well, Mixon was huge.
The Eagles, like I keep seeing, they got this A.
Mixon was huge.
They paid a lot for Saquon Barkley, who, again, if he's healthy, he could be really good. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's okay. Devin White is old.
Well, thank you. You went to the team. There. You went to the team I want to get to because, like Tom said, Houston, I just went to theirs real quick. I love Mixon's perfect with that team. Not only that, what no one's talking about, because Pierce had a year last year where he didn't play as well as he normally did, but Pierce is not I think he's still a good running back in general, but as a backup, that's pretty good, man. He's got some power. You know what I mean? He's underrated.
Yeah.
I know my running backs. Everyone just remember that. That guy everyone forgot he was on that team. He's still there. But
I would say too, like, so guys, Tampa, Tennessee did well.
Yep.
Like Tampa just kept people, right? Tennessee, I think they started building more around Levis. You know, I will say this: Calvin Ridley, like the contract he got, you wouldn't give AJ Brown that. Like, what are you guys doing?
Sneaky underrated move too. I just want to bring it up because we're doing Kansas City get Marquise Brown. Just saying, Hollywood, that's huge.
Get a guy. Hopefully, he can learn how to catch. He's good. He just can focus on the ball half the time.
Oh yeah.
Washington Commanders, I thought, did solid too.
That was the one I wanted to bring up. Yes. Oh my God.
But
that was a big time, man. Big time. I think. Yeah, and what's exciting about them now? You're gonna have a young QB coming in too. I think they should take Jaden Daniels. That's my opinion, but we'll see what they do. I think he would go great with the skill position players have. And here's the one that's underrated with Washington. Bobby Wagner. Leader. That's the kind of guy you need at linebacker. He's going to kind of bring the young guys together.
He's teaming back up with Quinn, so I'll be good.
Yep, I love it, man.
I think so real quick, teams that stink, the Jets, that was, I mean, again, like we said, I think we talked about this, like, with just in general with Aaron Rodgers' contract and all that. You know, they got Mike Williams. So I guess that helps. We'll just add more weapons, but you just paid all that money to Allen Lazard.
Yep.
Right, like it's just very confusing the moves they're trying to make.
Well, my thing is you're doing the.
And like I said, I still think you have a big question of, dude, Aaron Rodgers, is he all in? You're building this up for a guy that I'm not convinced he wants to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and this is why the Jets never have sustained winning, right? They go way too into like the 1 year deals with these old people, and then your team's so they don't have an identity. Right now, you're just a team with a lot of 1 year deals. So what happens the next year? You become a dumpster fire. When Aaron retires, they're gonna be terrible. They have all these 1 year deals, and they have no talent, like young talent on there. They're losing it because you know what Gardner, Sauce is gonna leave, and you ain't gonna have the money to pay him when he comes up, right? So there's one talent they got because why is he gonna come back to a team that just lost a bunch of players on 1 year deals? You want a guy to sign a long term deal? I'm gonna play for a team that has no design for like being sustainable winning, right? Why would I stay? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of it? Look at all these 1 year contracts. I got it up on the screen. Like, what is this? You're just gonna lose everyone.
Robert Saleh, I think he's. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't make a move after this.
Me
But it just
too. Me
tells me
too.
like they're just all in.
The
Invested in
only the
LA.
only move I think was really smart, like as far as like I get it. I'm not saying they're terrible moves because these are good players, but they're older and it's like 1 year deals. It's really weird. The Tyrod Taylor was probably their best move because if something does happen to Aaron, you got a decent backup now. He's really solid, veteran, makes plays, can win you some games.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, yeah, I mean, and you know what? They'll be okay too. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I think if they let that defense cook a little bit, right? Like, you think of New England, and you get like, I mean, they're like New England in the early 2000s. I mean, that's what they're betting on with Rodgers. The difference is Tom Brady was hungry versus I don't really know if Aaron Rodgers cares.
Oh no, wait.
I mean, I'm calling it out, man. Like, dude, like seriously, the guy runs his mouth so much. It's time to start calling a spade a spade. Like, let's, show up. Like,
No, and I think
don't
by
show up. Don't show up week one and then like light up the scoreboard. And then when it gets later in the season and you start playing bad and things aren't going well, you just kind of go meh.
yeah.
And also in playoff time, man, like do what you're supposed to do.
And I gotta do it. And Tom might differ. I don't know, but I think the worst off season just because they have done nothing, and they're not going anywhere. Like you're not getting better. What do you? And they paid Dak a lot of money. Dallas, buddy. I don't see it. I don't know what that was. Like, I get it, Tom. They got a lot of money tied up, but your team got lost a lot of players. Okay, some players, you're not getting Gilmore back. You're running back left. I'm like,
they lost Vander Esch. They lost. I mean, Pollard. I'll say this: Pollard is a good story.
he's not.
His thing, like, dude, I was watching a clip. Man, he got in the red zone and he had all the momentum. Like he was like 2 yards away from the
the
end zone,
touchdown.
and
Yeah,
he got tackled and he didn't get in.
no, I agree.
Pollard is okay. He's a really good
I
he's
agree.
like kind of a B minus C plus running back in the NFL.
No. I agree with
Dallas
you.
can just pump out running backs because they have a really good offensive line. Tyron Smith, I think it was time, dude. That guy is just hit or miss if he plays or not. When he's really good still, just again, availability is the number one piece of the equation.
No. I agree with you, but my thing is you didn't replace them with anybody. You just have people that are unproven and they're not. I just think and your team had to get better because they weren't good enough to get.
No, I mean, Dallas is in a tough spot. Like, I don't know what they can do because, like, even at quarterback, you're gonna just reset everything to.
No, I don't think they should reset it. I just thought they should.
At some point, did they re-sign Dak or no? Because his contract's up next year, I think.
No, I don't think they did. I think they're letting him play right now, from what I remember.
Well, but that's what I mean, though. Is like, so next year, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna bet on, hey, maybe if we're good, we'll take it, but if we're not, maybe we'll get better position. We can go get a quarterback.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm super curious what they're trying to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't see any rhyme or reason. I'm like, what was this? Because you definitely didn't help. Because no one's gonna be like, oh, they're definitely gonna be good. Like, dude, you didn't win last year, and your team definitely didn't get better.
No, they did not.
No, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about we've talked about everything. I just want to go back to the Eagles because I do think the hype's ridiculous. Because some of these, like the Saquon thing, are we going to act like they didn't overpay? And I like Saquon, but that's a lot of money for a running back, bro. Like, I'm like,
well, a running back that has never proven he can stay healthy.
No, yeah.
I mean, that's what I like. Because remember, basically, when you have to take, what you do is you take the contract of the player, right, and you divide it by the percentage of games that they play, and that's how much they cost your team.
Well,
Right?
even
So if you
C.J.
play
Gardner
less
Johnson.
than 16 games and your ratio is under 1, you're paying that much more for a guy. And that's the thing with him is it's like he's dynamic. He's amazing, but man.
But here's the scary part: like they're not bringing it up.
I don't know.
Their defense, their issues were schematically right, just their effort. Like you could have all the players you want on here. Are you going to play? They had talent. If you play the same way you played last year, you just ain't gonna play well. They had no heart,
Yeah, I mean,
man. That was
I
crazy.
think people underestimated. They had a lot of veterans, and they made that Super Bowl run
Yep.
again. And Jalen Hurts was just, they took the NFL by storm. But
Yep.
dude, they lost Kelsey.
You lost Kelsey. That's the
deal.
one to me.
And
Yeah.
they lost Fletcher Cox, and honestly, Brandon Graham's long in the tooth. They got a lot of age.
Tom, you just brought up two guys that leaders.
They played a lot of games. It's hard to keep people healthy, man.
Dude, you just brought up two leaders on both sides that are huge. Veteran savvy, it lost them. The dang center left. Tom knows more than anybody. If the new center, it's not like you just plug him in. He's great. It's easy. Like they run the offensive line, bro. They call the audibles and everything. It's wild. Protections.
Well, it's tough when you lost a guy that's truly the heartbeat of the team. That's the tough part.
And he's a Hall of Famer. It's talent.
Yeah.
That's a lot of talent. It's crazy.
No, and what's wild is I think he was better in the latter half of his career than he was.
Yeah.
He was. And honestly, as he got over 30.
Yeah. I agree.
But
dude, you're not like losing him when he was hurt the whole year and wasn't very good. He was great last year. He really was.
Yeah, no, I mean, what killed them last year is all of a sudden Jalen Hurts had to do too much.
Yep.
And the
Bradbury fell off a cliff too. He was not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this too. Matt Patricia has always proven again
yes,
and
yes.
again
Oh my God.
why this man has a job in the NFL.
That's crazy.
Like,
yeah, that's.
They play. Yeah. Well, then again, Green Bay had Joe Barry in there too, so.
Hey, he has the best nickname ever. That's Coach Pencil. That makes me laugh every time. Coach Pencil.
But, right. Yeah, but I mean, this will be my recap of free agency. Right?
I was gonna say, let's do a recap.
Agency, you are getting players you are paying them based on their potential. If you pay players based on their past performance, you are in deep trouble.
Yes, I agree.
That does not translate. You are paying them, dude, nobody wins. I hate when they say who won and lost the offseason, right? Winning is a perspective of what's the current situation your team is in. Like, I see, like, the Denver Broncos got a D- or D+.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They had to, getting Russell Wilson out of there was big.
Yeah.
They had to do it.
No, I agree.
It was clear as day. They did it. They got at least something for it,
Mm-hmm.
and they got more than what they got for Justin Fields. Justin Fields got, and who has more potential, I'd say, at this point than Russell Wilson.
I agree, which is crazy. 6th round pick, bro.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, you have that. I'm trying. Even like the Saints. The Saints are in cap hell.
They are.
They are just, it's a mess there.
And they still ain't got a quarterback.
They were able to bring in Chase Young. They were able to re-sign Tyrann Mathieu and keep some of those core pieces that make them competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you think about that, that's actually super tough, and they figured it out.
Honestly, that division's going to be wild.
Yeah.
If Carr has a
what's funny is it still might be super
year.
mediocre.
That too.
I think it all depends on, I'd be curious if Baker and Kirk Cousins could figure it out, man. I do love the Baker story. I think that was a cool re-signing for Tampa too.
I agree.
Because you know what? He did play really well for them.
No, I agree.
He deserves, and I'll give him this. Dude, that man in Cleveland was totally scapegoated.
He was.
For the dumpster fire it was, and it's funny now, of all the money they spent, and you want to talk about, I think, a team that constantly is losing the offseason, or they're trying to win the offseason and not focus on sustaining. The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I was going to say, thank you. I like
the Jerry Jeudy trade. He is just a guy.
Yeah.
but it adds another piece next to Amari Cooper.
I
And they
agree.
got someone else too. But like, dude, their season basically is riding on, can Deshaun
And
Watson
Watson,
play
yep.
better than average?
Yeah.
Which is crazy the amount of money they gave that man.
Yep.
He has to play better than average.
Underrated miss by them. They didn't even underrate it because they said, now it's reports, so it might not be true, that Deshaun just didn't want Joe back because Joe was like winning the city over. But I don't get how you don't bring Joe Flacco back. He played well with your team. He knows the system, obviously, and he can. If something goes wrong, you're fine. I like Jameis. He's funny, but he has in no shape or way been a winning quarterback in this league at all. Okay, so that's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And by the way, let me give credit. Let me go down to them. Let me give credit to Indianapolis because they re-signed Pittman and Joe as their backup's great because now you got a guy. If your man Richardson's having a little growing pains, great mentor by the way because he's big and tall like him. I know he don't run like him, but he can be like, hey man, you got a big arm too. Stay in the pocket, throw that ball. You know what I mean? It's I love that for Indianapolis. I just don't like you said. I don't get Cleveland. What are you doing? What has he shown you where you're going to be this like gung ho with him? Not only that, he's been injury prone too. What if Deshaun rips up his knee or his arm again? Like, what are you going to do? Jameis Winston is not going to win you anything. I can promise you that. He's going to throw a lot of picks that are really dumb and lose you games.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, yeah. It's
I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's funny, man. I agree. Like, dude, Joe Flacco, I don't know if you can get lightning in a bottle twice, but the Colts now have a guy that he can help mentor, and so is Gardner Minshew. Just Gardner's a really cool bridge QB, and that's why he keeps getting opportunities everywhere. But he's smart. Just keep taking 1-year deals and just helping, man.
Yeah, he went to the Raiders. I mean, come on, that's not a bad idea. Go get a Gardner. At the Raiders, I believe. Let me make sure.
Yeah,
he's gonna
be able to compete to start, and that's the thing for him is, dude, start as many games as you can.
We're gonna look back at Gardner Mitchell's gonna have a 30 for 30 in 20 years because the guy is just like the greatest journeyman quarterback ever. The man got a 2-year, $25 million deal.
Yeah,
$15 million guaranteed.
The last thing I gotta say too, I think what's so funny, and this just goes to show you, like the whole 2021 draft class. I would love to be like, other than Trevor Lawrence, all of them are gone.
Yeah. Hell, Mac Jones is his backup.
Isn't gone yet.
Who'd you say? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. My bad.
Zach Wilson's the only other one. He's still on the team, but it's just like he's rumored to be gone.
They're trying to get rid of him, yeah.
But like, dude, they think about this, right? Like, it's just, I mean, it's insane that even Trevor Lawrence, like, I would say he's super meh. He's like, the potential's through the roof. He just like
he's up and down. He really is.
Himself yet.
He really is.
Like, it's kind of crazy because that was the would that be the COVID draft class?
Yeah.
No, that'd be the year after.
Yeah.
Dude, like I don't know, man. They just, it was amazing how everybody hyped it up.
Yeah.
And how it is complete and utter garbage.
It really
now
is.
At this point.
It really is.
You basically have backups galore.
Yeah.
And you don't, like you said, maybe like Justin Fields, you're able to kind of get something out of him in Pittsburgh, but
no, I agree.
You may not, man. It's funny to look back on, and again, like how everybody trashed. I'm sorry, I have a vendetta out for all these people that know, quote unquote, what's going on. They think they know what's going on, or they like to criticize how teams make moves. Especially because Green Bay is just, they always stick to their guns and do what they do. But everybody crushed Green Bay for Jordan Love with that move.
Yep.
And how, like, he wasn't that good in college. He fit. A lot of it has to do with how you fit in the locker room, your personality, too. It's not just always what you do on the field. Yes, there are measurables you have to hit, but clearly Green Bay has a methodology and they understand what they're bringing in there to maintain success. But you could argue, yes, they don't do, their weakness in the past probably 15 years has always been they don't make enough of the big moves to get that, like, blue chip player. they do so much draft and develop and bet on that. But again, it sustains. And all I gotta say is, man, that 2020 class actually looks pretty solid when you think about it across the board. That's the class you're like, whoa. The one that everyone was like, other than Trey Lance, who maybe that's the answer in Dallas.
Right. That'd be wild. I mean, I think he still has a chance because he just really got like the shortest like leash ever.
He got hurt too.
He did.
You're right. Number one, he had a short leash because that was a team that was ready to win.
Ready to win. That's what it was. Yeah.
And he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McCarthy's a good developer of quarterbacks, and I would be really curious.
Look, you can't deny the guy has talent. The guy is a talented dude. Guy's a talented dude, though. I will say that. So maybe he will be fine.
Well,
but you're overarching.
I played at the FCS level. Like, there's been this conversation in Green Bay about Christian Watson sometimes of like, dude, this guy he was so athletically gifted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was clearly the best player in all FCS.
Mm-hmm. And
he would just some of his catches he's just catching wide open.
Yeah.
Because he's just such a barn burner.
Mm-hmm.
And the same, remember, Trey Lance was basically throwing to him, right? In the NFL, it's just so much harder. Again, nobody's getting burnt like that. Very rarely. It happens a couple times a game. And that's because someone miscommunicated.
It's a scheme thing, yeah. It's not the guy actually getting, like, hosed. It's like a zone and the guy's not in the right spot or something, yeah.
And I think that takes time to develop, too. Like, again, and they think Jordan Love, they let him sit for 4 years to develop.
No, I agree.
And it was the same with Aaron Rodgers. They didn't, and there's something to be said, like, you don't always run into a Patrick Mahomes all the time.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, even he had a year to sit, though. So, I mean...
Yeah, he did. You're right. He sat for a year.
Yeah.
And he played at the end, and they said, hey, we're going to make this move. And, Alex Smith has been an awesome bridge guy. But, yeah, so that's all. I just, like, teams, like, there's more to it than just this is a Madden signing. That's what I think I want to really hit.
Okay, one thing we got to get into, how do you think the Bears did? Because we didn't really talk about them.
I mean, I thought they did really good.
Me too.
Like, that's a team, it's like, hey...
we're going for it. We're going to set this kid up to be. I know their line's not the best, but I think the rest of that team's very talented. And the way Caleb Williams can move, I think it's they've done really well. I like it. I know DeAndre Swift's not the best running back time we're talking about, but he's still really solid. And Keenan Allen's he's a machine. He's going to get first downs. I think we were talking about, though, that's the guy Ravens kind of need a guy like that. Pick up first downs. You know what I mean? Something like that. Big chain mover.
Yeah.
That's what you need,
exactly, man.
And that's great for a young quarterback because when he's in trouble, he knows who to look for. And his tight end's solid. I mean, Gerald Everett's a great add, too. Gerald Everett's a really good second tight end. I like that. But before we leave off, I just want to get the Bears in there. One last thing. I don't know if Tom's seen it. What do you think of the Houston Texans New Jerseys, buddy?
I mean, they're kind of cool. It was like they took the horns and basically put them as like stripes, like that little swish.
Yeah, I like that.
Is super interesting.
I like that.
It looks cool.
My only issue, a little too much blue, man. There's too much blue. I'm like, the red's like barely there. I'm like, it's kind of weird. I like them.
I always like their alternatives where they go blue helmet and red. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. I just think the jersey has the red's so little on it, and I'm not even a big red fan. I'm more blue than red all day, but it's just weird how it's like the barely any red in it. It just looks like it looks like a generic. I like it better than their old ones. I want to put that out there. I like that because, like Tom said, I like the little like horns on the side. That's kind of cool. But I like them better. But I just thought the numbers maybe in the middle should have been red with blue because it contrasts with the sides being blue. Because I think you just have too much blue. But besides that, I think it's really good. I like it. It's more futuristic looking, kind of upgraded. I like it. Good job, Houston.
I do gotta say this though: the teams that have to screw around with their jerseys the most are generally not very good.
Yes, that is, yeah.
It's just I always think like it's different when you're bringing alternative jerseys. Like every team does that now. But
look, guys, I just want to point out we talked about 3 teams. The 2 teams me and Tom root for, and the Steelers. Do they ever change their jerseys? The Ravens, the Packers, and the Steelers? No.
The Colts.
The Colts. No. You know why?
Vikings constantly change jerseys, so do the Lions. The
Yep.
Bears are the other one. They don't really actually change
No,
their jerseys.
no.
They just aren't good.
No, no. Yeah, but no one ever complains. You know what it is? Their jerseys are pretty cool. They just no one complains about them. You know, it's like it'd be like I'll tell you what would make no sense. It'd be like if the Detroit Tigers in baseball changed their jerseys. Like why? They're so pretty. Like don't I know your team's not good, but bro, that's filthy. It's like the three teams we named. Just find a design, okay? Like like everybody understands. It might have been made in the '50s, but Green Bay's look nice. Leave it alone. They're like don't mess with it. Just stop.
Well, I love like how there's a bunch of teams that they really want to. I don't know what it is. They want like. There's always been a rumor of like, oh, Green Bay should go like to the 1960s ones they wear all the time. I'm like, dude, their jerseys are beautiful.
Yeah, no, don't, no.
That's one I wouldn't screw with.
No.
It's iconic. You know, like there's something about like.
Dude, it's like if the Ravens did something, I'd be like,
know what that G represents.
dude, it's like when the
It's not
Ravens,
Georgia.
it's like when the Ravens messed with they only did this twice. They wore them mustard yellow pants, and I don't know why they picked them. Like guys, you got beautiful jerseys. Just do it, rotate the colors around. It looks fine. They look great. Still, the All Blacks go hard. They're the best. I don't care what anyone says. That is so filthy.
Oh yeah, dude. No, but like, yeah, but it's a simple. It's a simple adjustment. It's not like.
Yeah, don't change them. Yeah, it's wild. Like no. I still don't know why. The one that always got me, and I did like Seattle's jerseys that they changed to when they were the Legion of Boom. I did like them, but I always loved their like '80s ones. They were wild. And the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams new ones are okay. I don't think they're terrible, but dude, you had it in the '90s. I don't know why they messed with it. Well, I guess that would be from the '60s, but I'm saying like they had it with the like, just make them. They're so filthy. I love them, but I guess not. What do I know? Fashion's fashion, and I'm not good at it, so I'm just gonna let them all do it. I don't get paid money to make your jerseys, so do what they say, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Tom, what do you want to do next? What's our next one we're gonna do? Yeah. Draft? Doing some draft stuff?
Yeah, maybe.
They were doing draft stuff next time.
We do have the NCAA tournament and fun stuff coming up too, so you never know. Maybe
Oh,
we'll talk about football.
Yeah, hey, we're in our humble opinion. We have opinions about everything. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do like a bracket one, but we'll do the show and do our picks on the thing. Because I have not watched much college basketball, so this could be fun. So you should definitely pick my bracket because I don't know anything, and you'll definitely win. That's what that means. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Likes as always are appreciated. And subscribe for more of our awesome content. You are all amazing. You have a great day. And Tom, as always, you know what to say, buddy.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Peace. Bye.